Your daughter should have been safe here, and she wasn't, and I'm sorry for that. I've advised the family through the police that if there is anything we can do to assist, we are here to help with that.
Grace Emmy Rose Millane was born in Essex, England in 1996. She grew up in a family with her parents, David and Gillian. As the youngest child, Grace had two older brothers, Michael and Declan. She was known to be sociable, energetic, family-oriented, and passionate about creativity and the arts. After completing her studies at the University of Lincoln, Grace graduated with a degree in advertising and marketing. Before starting the next phase of her life, she was incredibly excited about a new adventure. Grace had saved money to embark on a year-long backpacking trip after graduation. She was described as compassionate and thoughtful by those who knew her. Notably, before starting her trip, Grace cut her long hair and donated it to the Little Princess Trust, a charity that makes wigs for children battling cancer. In October 2018, Grace officially left her family home to begin her journey. Grace set off on her travels. As an adventurous and outgoing recent graduate, she first traveled to Peru before spending 6 weeks exploring South America. Along the way, Grace met many other travelers and was eager to share her experiences with her family and friends back home. On November 19th, at the age of 21, Grace arrived in New Zealand alone. 11 days later, she reached Auckland. Grace checked into a hostel called Base Backpackers on Queen Street, sharing a room with several other travelers. On the evening of Saturday, December 1st, 2018, Grace left the hostel shortly before 6 p.m. to head into the city centre. She was wearing a knee-length black dress, white shoes, and carried a small handbag. Grace had plans to meet someone. At 5:45 p.m., Grace met a man in a blue shirt whom she had connected with on Tinder. They greeted each other with a friendly hug, marking the start of their date. They began at Sky City, an entertainment complex with bars, restaurants, and a casino. There, they had a few drinks for about an hour and a half before moving to a nearby Mexican restaurant. At the restaurant, they continued with tequila shots. Later, the pair visited another bar called Blue Stone Room, located nearby. At Blue Stone Room, their relationship seemed to grow more intimate as they shared their first kiss. While the man went to the restroom, Grace texted a friend saying, "I click with him so well. He's an oil manager. He lives in a hotel." However, in a brief moment captured on camera, the mysterious man was seen rummaging through Grace's bag while she was away. The date appeared to proceed smoothly. By around 9:30 p.m., they left the bar, walking hand in hand through the streets. The following day, December 2nd, was Grace's 22nd birthday. However, no one was able to contact her all day, and this continued in the days that followed. Grace's family and friends grew increasingly worried. By December 5th, her parents contacted the Auckland police to report her missing. Grace's father, David, even flew to Auckland and made an emotional public plea, hoping for her safe return.
Thank you for coming today. As you know, Grace has been missing for several days. We last had contact with her on Saturday the 1st of December, and as a family we've been extremely concerned for her welfare. Grace is a lovely, outgoing, fun-loving, family-orientated daughter Grace has never been out of contact for this amount of time. She's usually in daily contact with either her mother, myself, her two brothers, members of the family on social media. She arrived here on the 20th of November and has been bombarding us with numerous photographs and messages of her adventures. We are all extremely upset, and it is very difficult at this time to fully describe the range of emotions we are going through.
Based on initial information, police contacted the hostel where Grace was staying. The hostel confirmed that she had not returned on the night of December 1st. With the city's extensive CCTV system, police quickly traced Grace's movements that evening. Within a short time, they identified the man accompanying Grace as Jesse Kempson, a 26-year-old from Wellington who was residing at the City Life Hotel. Kempson was known for fabricating stories to impress others. He claimed to be a CIA agent, the adopted son of a wealthy family, and even the cousin of a famous All Blacks rugby player. However, the truth was far from these lies. Kempson was merely a sales employee who had been fired for dishonesty on the very day he met Grace. Additionally, he lied to his landlord at the City Life Hotel, claiming to be a senior manager at Woolworths. In reality, his rent was paid using state welfare funds. These suspicious details quickly turned all attention to Jesse. He was immediately summoned for questioning.
Tell us about Grace.
So I was talking to Grace on Tinder.
Yeah.
We'd matched on Friday. I saw that we'd matched the next day on Saturday. And then we met at Sky City. And then we decided that we were going up to Andy's Burger Bar, which is on the first floor.
Whose idea was it to go to that particular burger place?
Me. Because I didn't initially know that she was real.
What do you mean?
Well, there's a lot of... So have you heard of catfish?
No.
So catfishing is where someone uses your profile, or uses your photos and pretends to be you and then meets, and you're a completely different person.
How does meeting in a public place sort of protect you from meeting someone who's not as good looking as...
Well, there's security there. So if she wasn't who she said she was,
Yeah.
at least in my mind I'd feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's us.
Down there?
Yep. So she's going that way, and I'm going across the street. I go down Queen Street. I go down Victoria Street, straight down to the bottom, and then hang a left, and I head towards the viaduct.
You've kind of walked in a bit of a funny direction if you were planning to go to the viaduct. Is there a particular reason you were going to do that?
I feel safer down that way.
And we're very, very concerned for her safety, obviously.
Yep.
It's entirely possible that she's been the victim of foul play.
Okay.
You understand what that means?
Yeah.
What would your feelings be about providing us with a voluntary DNA sample in the event that we can compare that against something? Would you be happy with
Yeah,
that?
100%. I mean, I know I haven't done anything wrong, so I'm happy to do it.
Okay. At this stage, we don't know what's happened to this girl.
Okay.
It's possible that somebody has killed her. Okay.
Okay.
You understand that?
Yeah.
She might, when I say foul play, I mean that someone might have murdered her. Don't know if she's been murdered or not yet. She may be alive and well.
Okay.
But she might also be dead.
Okay.
Okay? And it could be that you've done it.
Jesse claimed that nothing unusual had happened that night. According to him, the date ended amicably, and the two parted ways around 10 p.m. He also said that he tried messaging Grace on Tinder the next day, but noticed that she had unmatched him, abruptly ending their connection. However, police continued reviewing CCTV footage from the City Life Hotel, where Jesse was staying. The footage would soon reveal the truth about Jesse's account. Despite Jesse's claim that they parted ways on the street, CCTV captured them walking hand in hand into the City Life Hotel. They went up to Jesse's room together, but Grace was never seen leaving the building. The next morning, At around 8 a.m., CCTV recorded Jesse leaving the hotel with a worried expression, glancing directly at the camera. He then went out to purchase a large suitcase and some cleaning supplies. Jesse returned to his apartment for a few hours before reappearing at 10:42 a.m. This time, he took a taxi to a car rental company where he rented a red car. What shocked everyone most was Jesse's subsequent actions. Just a few hours later, he went on a date with another woman he had met on Tinder. Jesse showed up for the date wearing the same clothes he had worn the night before. During the meeting, the woman later reported that Jesse made disturbing comments about hiding bodies to evade police. Feeling extremely uncomfortable, she refused to get into Jesse's car and went home on her own. At around 8 p.m., Jesse went back to the city centre to rent a carpet cleaner, which he brought up to his hotel room. By 9:30 p.m., he loaded a large suitcase onto a hotel trolley and transferred it into the rented car before driving away. The following morning, around 7 a.m., Jesse was caught on camera buying a shovel. About 2 hours later, he took the car to a car wash before returning it to the rental company. On the afternoon of December 5th, Jesse was seen carrying a large bag and visiting multiple locations to dispose of various items in trash bins. Police arrived at the City Life Hotel to search and speak with Jesse. At that moment, Jesse returned to the hotel and upon spotting police at the reception desk, immediately turned around and began walking in the opposite direction. However, police quickly noticed him, pursued him, and brought him in for questioning. After decoding more than 6 terabytes of CCTV data and gathering sufficient evidence, on December 8th, the police arrested and interrogated Jesse again. This time, his story changed significantly.
That you're willing to speak to us about the events of last Saturday, is that correct?
Yes.
Tell me what happened last Saturday.
She started talking to me about 50 Shades of Grey. We started having sex. At first it was just normal. And then she asked me if we could get into bondage, having, I guess, more violent sex. We ended up on the floor. And then she told me to hold her throat. So I went into the shower. And then all I remember is falling asleep in the shower. I need to stop.
Jesse stated that Grace had suggested experimenting with BDM and referenced the movie 50 Shades of Grey. According to him, her death was an accident. He claimed to have panicked upon discovering her lifeless body the next morning and decided to clean up the scene instead of calling emergency services.
I didn't know what to do. I went downstairs and I was just, I don't know, I was all over the place.
You come out of the shower,
Yep.
The light's been on in the shower,
Yep.
you put a towel around you,
Yep.
You've turned the light off, and
Yep.
then you've returned to your bed and you've gone to sleep in your bed.
Yep.
And at that point, when you exit the shower, you don't look around, but your assumption from the silence.
I thought that she had gone. I thought she had left.
We're going to head out of here very, very soon, and you're going to take us to where you've buried her.
Yeah.
She will likely be exhumed tomorrow. at some point, and after that, a pathologist, a specialist doctor, will perform a post-mortem.
Yep.
They're very skilled at establishing people's causes of death. Do you understand that?
Yep.
Yeah. Did you kill Grace Mullane? Okay. Jesse Kempson, you're under arrest for the murder of
On
Grace
December
Mullane.
8th, police discovered Grace's body in a suitcase buried near the Waitakere Ranges. A post-mortem examination confirmed that she had been strangled to death, and her body was forcibly compressed into the suitcase before being buried.
Identified late last night as a location of interest as a result of our investigative work. I can now advise that a short time ago we located a body which we believe to be Grace. The formal identification process will now take place. However, based on the evidence we have gathered over the past few days, we expect that this is Grace. The focus now is to piece together exactly what happened to a young girl who came to New Zealand on her OE. Obviously, this brings the search for Grace to an end. It is an unbearable time for the Mullane family, and our hearts go out to them. Any father, any parent in this situation will struggle. Yeah, I feel for my, I have a daughter in her 20s. So, yeah, we're putting a lot of support around him. It's difficult because he's here with a brother from England and the rest of the family are back home.
A pathologist revealed that Grace had been strangled with considerable force. Bruises on her arms and chest indicated she had been restrained. The pressure on her neck lasted 4 to 5 minutes, enough to end her life. At approximately 1:30 a.m. on Sunday, while Grace's lifeless body remained in his room, Jesse conducted a series of internet searches on his phone. He looked up bizarre terms such as hottest bird of prey and information about the Waitakere Ranges, the site where he would later bury Grace's body. Jesse then visited a pornographic website and took intimate photos of Grace's deceased body. These actions further highlighted the horrific and inhumane nature of the crime.
Look, today I would like to start with a comment on the murder of Grace Mullane, having received a number of media queries about this tragedy. Firstly, I cannot imagine the grief of her family and what they will be experiencing and feeling right now. And my thoughts and prayers are with her father, David, who is in the country, her mother, Gillian, who cannot be here, and her wider family, friends, and loved ones. You know, from the Kiwis I have spoken to, there is this overwhelming sense of hurt and shame that this has happened in our country, a place that prides itself on our hospitality, on our manaakitanga, especially to those who are visiting our shores. And so, on behalf of New Zealand, I want to apologise to Grace's family. Your daughter should have been safe here, and she wasn't, and I'm sorry for that. I've advised the family through the police that if there is anything we can do to assist, we are here to help with that.
Police asserted that Kempson's actions were premeditated and his claim of an accident was unfounded. Grace's family sought justice and received widespread support from the international community.
The verdict of murder today will be welcomed by every member of the Mullane family and friends of Grace. It will not reduce the pain, the suffering that we've had to endure for over the past year. Grace was taken away from us in the most brutal fashion a year ago, and our lives have been, and family have been ripped apart. This will be with us for the rest of our lives. We would like to thank several people. Auckland Police Force, been professional, diligent and thorough all through this investigation. Last but not least, we would love to thank the people of New Zealand. They've opened their hearts to Grace and her family. I cannot express our gratitude enough for all the offers and gifts of kindness that we've received over the last year.
Tragically, Grace's father, David, passed away from cancer just 1 month before Jesse faced further charges for other crimes. In 2020, Jesse appealed his sentence, but the appeal was denied. Jesse's response to Grace's death showed no signs of panic. He could have called emergency services and claimed it was an accident, but he chose not to. Instead, he continued his life as though nothing had happened. During the trial, 3 women came forward to recount their experiences with Jesse on Tinder. They testified that he had a penchant for BDM and was known to lie frequently. Jesse was also accused of multiple instances of sexual assault and violence against women. The trial for Grace Mullane's murder began in November 2019 and lasted 3 weeks. After 5 hours of deliberation, the jury found Jesse guilty of murder. He was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum non-parole period of 17 years. Grace's beautiful spirit lives on. Her family established a charity named Love Grace in her memory. The charity supports victims of domestic violence and encourages the community to donate handbags filled with essentials to help women in need. Throughout the trial, there was significant controversy. It often felt as though Grace's personal life was on trial rather than her killer's actions. Nonetheless, Jesse, a cold-blooded murderer, was ultimately imprisoned. Psychologists also warned that he posed a high risk of reoffending if released.